Every time that I had a judo competition or an exam or any kind of performance that I need to do, I needed to go around 3, 4 times more than usual to the toilet. And that's not even the worst thing that happened to me when I was experiencing anxiety. The worst thing that happened to me was actually feeling the train of thoughts that was rushing through my mind and ruining my ability to enjoy the actual experience. And for a lot of time, I believed that I was broken. I believed that there was something wrong with me for feeling that anxious, for feeling that bad. I was thinking that feeling your heartbeat increasing, feeling your breath becoming heavier and sweating more than usual was a signal that I was doing something wrong. I was like, if I feel so bad, it must mean that I'm doing some wrong things. And it's one of the reasons because I stopped to compete in judo for a period of time. But I found out later in life that anxiety is not an enemy. Anxiety is not a bad thing. Anxiety, in fact, is a powerful force that can improve your quality of experience if conveyed in the right way. In fact, if we look at sorry, I need to read the name, Yerkes-Dodson law. Okay, Yerkes-Dodson. Yeah, we see that a certain level of arousal, which is your activation of your central nervous system, is necessary to achieve optimal performance. This is also true if we look at the model of challenge and competence of Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Basically, what he says, I already spoke about it in this channel, but basically what he says is that for achieving flow, which is the optimal experience of the mind, you need to have a good balance between the challenges that your environment asks to you and a high level of skills. You need to be balanced in that way, because if your demands are too high, if your challenge is too big in regards to your skills, you will feel anxiety, you will feel anxious. So if you have a balance between anxiety and perceived competence, you will achieve optimal experience. So anxiety is not something that we need to get rid of away completely. It's something that we need to manage in order to achieve peak performance in whatever we are want to do, which could be sport, could be study, work, whatever. You need to manage your anxiety in order to use it as an instrument and not feeling commanded by it. So the question is how to reduce anxiety so that we could go back to the optimal level of arousal and perform at the best of our capacities. Before answering this question, we need to understand what anxiety actually is. What is anxiety? The best way to describe it is generalized fear. When we are scared about something because we see maybe a truck that is going over you, an angry animal is running towards us, adrenaline rushes through our bodies and we experience an increased respiratory rate, we experience an increased heart rate, blood pressure increases, and also our muscles receive much more glucose so that they can be ready to run away or attack the enemy. But when we don't have nothing to focus on, there is nothing to focus our fear, the fear becomes generalized. Okay, there is not a real reason to be scared. So our brain starts to search and create all sorts of dangers in the environment. And this is when anxiety is experienced, when you don't have nothing to really focus on your fear. In order to regain control of your body and your mind, we have two strategies. One is to calm down the body and one is to calm down the mind. Body and the mind influence each other, and every time they are not a separate unit. But I'm doing this differentiation only for educational purposes. Anxiety experienced in the body. The best way to reduce anxiety in the body is to doing some form of mindfulness or body awareness practice. And the easiest that you can do is the square breathing. Basically, you breathe for 4 seconds, you hold your breath for 4 seconds, you exhale in 4 seconds, and keep your lungs empty for, you guessed it, 4 seconds. This will not only shift your focus to your body and what happens inside of you, but also will put you in a more relaxed state. Basically, we have two different types of state of modes in our nervous system. The first is sympathetic mode, which is the more active, which is the more, let's say, aroused, which is the one that we experience when we are anxious. And there is the parasympathetic mode, which is the one where we are more relaxed and we are more prone to be chill. It's basically the chill mode of the central nervous system. And when you are doing this type of breathing, you are tricking your brain to go into the more parasympathetic, relaxed state of mind. Now, in order to calm the mind, what I used personally is this journaling technique. Since anxiety is a generalized fear, we can get clarity about what we are scared and prepare, and then we're going to experience less worry. So, in order to do that, take a piece of paper and divide it into 3 columns. In the first column, write down everything that you're afraid might happen with as much details as possible. So be clear about what you are specifically scared about. In the second column, I want you to write down a solution that you can use in order to prevent that bad thing to happen. And the third column, ask yourself, if that thing actually happened, what can you do in order to solve that problem? What are you going to do if the problem arises? This exercise will help you to gain a greater sense of control and self-efficacy, and on what you're doing, it will create more order into your mind. You will have the confidence that you will be able to withstand whatever problem you're going to face. It won't reduce anxiety completely, but it will help you to reduce it to a way where it's more useful for you and less destructive. A bit of anxiety signals that you're growing and that you're going into a meaningful direction. It means that you're challenging yourself. Anxiety is actually kind of a compass that tells you whether you're doing enough, whether you're challenging yourself enough, or if you're kind of restraining yourself, if you're not really engaging into life. So a little bit of anxiety is necessary in order to perceive your life as meaningful. I hope that this video was useful. Remember to aim upward as always.